بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. The first practical principle is asalatul bara'ah. So we assume that there is no obligation unless it is proved otherwise. So exemption from obligation is the primary assumption. If someone claims that there is an obligation, he has to prove it. قد تقدم أن مجرى أصالة البراءة هو الشك في أصل التكليف. As we said in the previous discussion, أصالة البراءة is applied when there is doubt about the taklif, about obligation. وهو على أقسام. This majra where Asalatul Bara'ah can be applied has different types. So we want to see where Asalatul Bara'ah can be applied. لأن الشك تارة يتعلق بالحكم. After two lines, وأخرى يتعلق الشك بالموضوع. As we said also in the last session, sometimes your doubt is about the hukm, about the ruling. So you are not sure about the ruling of Sharia. Sometimes you know the ruling. Your doubt is about mistar, about the case. Whether this case is one instance of that ruling or not. So, لأن الشك تارة يتعلق بالحكم أي يكون أصل الحكم مشكوكا. The very ruling is obvious. كالشك في حكم التدخين. For example, you have doubt whether smoking is religiously prohibited or not. أو الدعاء عند رؤية الهلال. When you see the crescent of the new moon, is it mustahab to make dua or it is wajib? So the difference between this example and previous example is that the previous one was ash-shubhatul tahrimiyya, this is ash-shubhatul wujubiyya. The taklif, which was not known, was prohibition in the first example, and here is wujub, is compulsion. يسمى بالشبهة الحكمية. وأخرى means تارة أخرى يتعلق الشك بالموضوع بمعنى أن الحكم معلوم. We know the ruling of Sharia, but the case is problematic. لكن تعلق الشك بمصادق الموضوع. But doubt has belonged to one or some of the instances of the subject. For example, we have a liquid, al-ma'i. Ma'i means liquid. Al-muraddad bayna kawnihi khamran aw khallan. We have a liquid and we don't know whether it is wine or vinegar. We know the ruling of wine, we know the ruling of vinegar, but we don't know this one is wine or vinegar. يسمى بالشبهة الموضوعية. Then, what is the reason for doubting? Why we doubt? With respect to ash-shubhatul hukmiyya, when you don't know the ruling itself. For example, why you have doubt whether smoking is prohibited or not. either because of فقدان nas, we don't have any text, any hadith or ayah about this issue, or إجمال nas, sometimes we have text but it's not clear, it's ambiguous. Sometimes تعارض nas, where we have conflicting texts. Okay? So فقدان الناس or إجمال الناس or تعارض الناس. With respect to شبهة الموضوعية, the problem is not nas. The problem is external issues, realities that we are dealing with. Whether this is wine or vinegar, this is a real issue outside. It's clear? ثم إن منشأ الشك في الشبهة الحكمية. Mansha means where doubt starts. The origin, the source of doubt is إما فقدان النص. There is no text, no ayah, no hadith, nothing. Or إجماله. There is nas, but is mujmal, is ambiguous. أو تعارض النصين, or conflicting texts. In any case, you are not able to establish a fatwa, because your references are not enough, sufficient to make you able to say with peace of mind that this is the Sharia ruling. ومنشأ الشك في شبهة الموضوعية. But with respect to شبهة الموضوعية, the root, the origin of the problem, of the doubt is خلط الأمور الخارجية. External issues are mixed. You are not able to understand whether this is blood, for example, or not, whether this is vinegar or not, whether this is wine or not, So it's something about the life, and this is actually scientific issues sometimes, for example. Okay, this is about mansha ushak. Another division is ashubhatu biqismayha. This doubt that you have in its both types, means whether it is hukmiyya or mawdu'iyya, is either wujubiyya or tahrimiyya. Okay? So this doubt in its both forms, whether it is hukmi or mistaqi, mawzu'i, is either about doubting wujub or doubting tahrim. والشبهة بقسميها تنقسم إلى تحريمية ووجوبية. Now let us give you example. Of course, we have already given you example, like smoking, for example, that was tahrimiyya. But again, أما التحريمية فأريد بها ما إذا احتملت حرمة الشيء. When there is a chance that something is haram, مع العلم بأنه غير واجب. Because if it was something that it is either haram or wajib, then it's not bara'ah. So it is haram or anything other than wujub. For example, either it's haram on mubah, or haram on mustahab, haram or makruh. So one side is haram, which is ilzami, with taklif. The other side is no taklif. Therefore, the result is that you don't know whether taklif has belonged to you. But if it was between haram and wujub, then you know that there is taklif. Okay? إذا احتملت حرمة الشيء مع العلم بأنه غير واجب فيدور أمره بين الحرمة والإباحة أو الكراهة، يعني الحرمة والكراهة، أو الاستحباب، يعني الحرمة والاستحباب. So one of these possibilities. كالتدخين الدائر أمره بين الحرمة والإباحة. Okay? Smoking, that it's either prohibited or it's just neutral. أما الوجوبية فالمراد منها هي ما إذا احتمل وجوبه مع العلم بأنه غير محرم. Wujub and anything other than hurma. Because if it is hurma and wujub, again would be where there is no possibility of براءة. فيدور أمره بين الوجوب والاستحباب. أو الإباحة يعني وجوب والإباحة. أو الكراهة يعني وجوب أو الكراهة. For example, الدعاء عند رؤية الهلال. When you see the crescent of the new moon, no one says dua here is either wajib or haram. They say either it's wajib or mustahab, for example. But we say we don't know any obligation has belonged to us or not. So the very existence of obligation is in doubt. على ذلك يقع الكلام في مقامين. So now, based on what we have said, we have two kind of discussions. First, we talk about ash-shubhatu tahrimiyya, which is most of the discussion, and then just very short discussion about ash-shubhatul wujubiyya. If you look at page 215, al-maqam al-sani fi shubhatul wujubiyya. So 13 pages shubhatul tahrimiyya. Only one page is ash-shubhatul wujubiyya. Okay? Because shubhatul tahrimiyya has more discussion, and akhbariyun have denied bara'ah with respect to shubhatul tahrimiyya. So we have more discussion about ash-shubhatul tahrimiyya. Then ash-shubhatul tahrimiyya itself has different possibilities. It's hukmiyya for fiqdanun nas, hukmiyya for ijmalun nas, hukmiyya for ta'aruzun nas, or mawzu'iyya because the external issues are not known to us. You have question?
No, I think the whole tahrimiyya is haram.
Yes. Means you have doubt whether something is prohibited or not.
That's right. Thank you.
So this is bigger discussion.
The main discussion is ash-shubhatu tahrimiyya. Ash-shubhatu tahrimiyya وفيها مسائل أربع. So there are 4 problems here, 4 topics. الشبهة الحكمية التحريمية لأجل فقدان النص. الشبهة الحكمية التحريمية لأجل إجمال النص. فقدان means absence of text. إجمال means ambiguity. Third, الشبهة الحكمية التحريمية لأجل تعارض النصين. We have conflicting texts. الشبهة الموضوعية التحريمية لأجل خلط الأمور الخارجية. The external affairs are mixed. Means we are not able to establish clearly, for example, whether this is wine or not, whether this is blood or not. وإليك الكلام في هذه المسائل الواحدة تلو الأخرى. One by one. الواحدة تلو الأخرى means مسألة by مسألة. One by the one, after the one. First, الشبهة الحكمية التحريمية لأجل فقدان الناس. So the issue is that we think maybe something is haram, but we have no reliable text. No hadith, for example, which is reliable. إذا شك في حرمة شيء لأجل عدم النص عليها في الشريعة. When there is doubt about prohibition of something because there is no text about it in Sharia. فقد ذهب الأصوليون إلى البراءة. علماء الأصول, they said, we assume that there is no taklif. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to question us when something is not proved, is not introduced to us properly. وَالْأَخْبَارِيُّونَ إِلَى الْإِحْتِيَاطِ. Here is one of the areas that أخباريون disagree with majority of ulama. Majority of ulama are usuli. أخباريون say here we have to do ihtiyat.
Can you just briefly explain the difference between them? Usuliyun and Akhbariyun, just briefly.
Akhbariyun are some Shia scholars that they believe we have to follow the hadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Of course, everyone believes in that, but with some differences. For example, they say apart from nusus al-Quran, we cannot understand ourselves zawahir al-Quran. So nusus, of course, are not that many in fiqh. But they say zawahir are only understood by Ahlul Bayt. We cannot understand zawahir al-Quran. Okay? Or for example, many of them believe that Kutub Arba'at, they are all sahih. You don't need to investigate. Or for example, they are against usage of aql in fiqh, in some cases. And also they don't believe in bara'ah, in shubahat al-tahrimiyah. For them normally, of ijtihad is less involving قواعد الأصول, is more leaning towards text. They are not like Ahl Hadith, but there are some similarities. But Akhbariyun themselves are sometimes very, very knowledgeable and very learned, and Akhbariyun themselves have a, wide spectrum. Some of them are very maybe not sophisticated, but some of them are very sophisticated, very, like for example, even, for example, one of the very good books in fiqh is Al-Hada'iq. Al-Hada'iq al-Nada. Sahib al-Hada'iq was Akhbari, but he is very good mujtahid. So there is a rank and a kind of degree among Akhbariyun themselves. There are good articles about Akhbariyun, especially in the Encyclopedia of Islam, which is in Farsi. There is a very good article about Akhbariyun. Pardon?
So they don't believe in marjiyah.
Yeah, but they have their own maraj sometimes, but to be a marja or mujtahid for them is not like us, very complicated. And they normally, especially those who exist today, just mostly follow text of hadith. They don't that much investigate sanad and dalala, But it's not that every akhbar is like this, but many of those who are today are like this.
Are they prominent today as well? Are they prominent?
No.
Not today?
There are akhbar, but not prominent scholar. واستدل الأصوليون بالكتاب والسنة والعقل. Usuliyun who believe in براءة, in shubahat tahrimiyah, they have argued from Quran, from Hadith, from Aql. نذكر المهم منها. We mention some of the important arguments of Usuliyun. 1. التعذيب فرع البيان. Punishment depends on expression of taklif. When something has not been expressed, God is not going to ask us about it and punish us about it. For example, in Surah Isra, verse 15, Allah says, مَنْ اهْتَدَى فَإِنَّمَا يَهْتَدِي لِنَفْسِهِ. وَمَنْ ضَلَّ فَإِنَّمَا يَضِلُّ عَلَيْهَا وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. Very important issues are mentioned in the first part, but our focus is here. وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. Allah says we would never punish unless we dispatch a messenger. And this is why even we say not only bayan is needed, but also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to complete the hujjah would not say, okay, you could understand it by your aql. Even He sends messenger to make it very clear. Not only He makes it clear, He makes it very clear. Yeah? ما كنا معذبين حتى نبعث رسولا. علق سبحانه التعذيب على بعث الرسول. Allah has made punishment dependent or conditional upon what? Sending messenger. What does this involve? What does this imply? وَهُوَ كِنَايَةٌ. This indirectly shows that there must be bayan, expression. But what type of bayan? Maybe you say, there was a bayan. You say, no, a kind of bayan that reaches me. If there was bayan for that generation and has not reached us, so it means that there is no bayan for us. So existence of bayan is not enough. It has to reach the person that we want to question. Is it clear? عن البيان الواصل إلى المكلف. There must be explanation or expression that reaches the person who is responsible. لأنه لو بعث الرسول ولم يكن هناك بيان. So sending Rasul means to have bayan wasil. Because if you have Rasul and no bayan, or you have Rasul and bayan, no wusul, it's not enough. Okay? لو بعث الرسول ولم يكن هناك بيان. If Allah sends a messenger, but there is no expression, no announcement, no declaration. أو كان هناك بيان, or there was declaration, there was announcement, لم يصل إلى المكلف, has not reached the mukallaf. لما صح التعذيب. It's not right to punish. ولا قبح عذابه. It's immoral to punish. You know, for ulama call this قاعدة قبح العقاب بلا بيان. قبح العقاب بلا بيان. It's not right to punish without announcement. Even today in any part of the world that people act by aql, if any law is passed, they don't ask people why you didn't observe the law unless they have made proper announcement. They first inform people, educate people, then they say now you have to act according to the law. Okay? فَالدَّافِعُ لِقُبْحِ الْعِقَابِ. So what can push away or keep away immorality of punishment is what? البيان الواصل. بمعنى وجوده. Of course, when we say واصل, what do we mean by واصل?
Reached.
Yeah. Yeah. For example, for a faqih, what is al-bayan al-wasil? We mean there is announcement, and this announcement should be something which is available. Not that, it should reach me, for example, by itself. Because maybe someone says, I don't open any book, I don't go to any library, I don't investigate, and then I say it has not reached me. So to put themselves in kind of isolation, so that they don't hear, they don't receive this hadith, and they say, قبح العقاب بلا بيان. We say al-wasil doesn't mean that it has to reach you personally. It means that something that is available for consideration in madani, where it should be found. For example, in the books of hadith. Okay? If something is available in the sources of fiqh, you can not say it has not reached me. But if it is, for example, buried in a cave, in a box, this is not wasi'. Okay? الدافع لقبح العقاب هو البيان الواصل. What can dafa means protect against, push away immorality of punishment is al-bayan al-wasil, the announcement, the expression which is reaching. What does it mean? In this sense, وجوده في مظانه. This bayan should exist in its madhan, likely places. Can you say likely places? Or in its...
When you have one, that it is there.
Yeah. The places that are common.
Likely to be found.
Pardon?
Likely to be found.
Likely to be found. Like we have madhan dua, which means when dua is likely to be accepted. Madhan dua. You know, sometimes ulama, when they want to say iltimas dua, so sometimes they say, Dar madhan dua, please do not forget me. Dar madhan dua, or madhan istajabat dua, please do not miss. For example, night of Jum'ah, or after Salat, when you have good, chance of dua being accepted, please remember me. Okay? So, this expression should exist fi madhanhi, where there is a chance and likelihood that this can be found. Okay?
Madani means where it can be found. Madani.
Mawan.
Means the places that are very likely to have this. Proper, appropriate places that you look for something. If you want to, for example, buy a second-hand car, where do you go? You don't go to a butcher. Yeah? There is a place that normally people who want to buy a second-hand car, they go there. If you want to buy a house, you go to a place that there is likelihood of having a house. A faqih, when he wants to find bayan, he should refer to the places that bayan can be found. If he doesn't go there, he cannot say al-bayan has not reached me. This little exercise needed. You have to make efforts. وجوده في مظانه على وجه, in the way that لو تفحص عن, if he inquires about it, he does a little research, لعثر عليه, he would find it. عثر means to find. تفحص means investigate, research. وَالْمَفْرُوض, and what is our assumption here is that mujtahid تفحص في مظان الحكم. For example, when we say شرب التوتون, okay, is not proved to be haram. When we say this, when mujtahid has already looked into the, not someone who has not investigated kutub of hadith and says, it's not known to me. أن المجتهد تفحص في مظان الحكم, has investigated where this hukm can be found. ولم يعثر على شيء, has not found anything يدل على الحرمة, anything that can indicate haram. فينطبق عليه مفاد الآية. Then here that ayah can be applicable, that ما كنا معذبين حتى نبعث رسولا. أن التعذيب فرع البيان الواصل. والمفروض, and the assumption is عدم التالي. التعذيب depends on بيان واصل. Here there is no بيان واصل, so there is no تعذيب. Okay?
Punishment, isn't it?
Punishment. If there is ta'dhib, there must be bayan. If there is no bayan, there is no ta'dhib. فَيَكُونُ الْمُقَدَّمْ غَيْرُ مُحَقَّقْ. Because tali is not there, so muqaddam is also not there. P, then Q. Not Q means not P. So this is ayah. Another argument that usuliyun have used is hadith al-rafa. There's a famous hadith, hadith al-rafa. Rafa. You must have heard. We talked about the difference between daf and raf also before. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Pardon?
Rafa means elevation, isn't it? Rafa?
Means to remove. Ah. According to a hadith which is well known, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, رفع عن أمتي تسعة. 9 things have been removed from my ummah, which inshallah we'll explain. When Rasulullah said they are removed, it doesn't mean that they don't occur. They do occur among Muslims. It means that the effects are not there, like punishment, for example. Okay? For example, al-khata, mistakes. This doesn't mean that Muslims don't make mistakes. They make mistakes. But it means that they are not going to be questioned. They are not going to be punished because of their mistakes. Of course, some of them may be for all people. It's not that it's only for Muslims. Some of them may be for all people. But also there can be nations that, because of some of their insistence on wrongdoing, some of the facilities are not given to them. You know, like Quran says, بِظُلْمٍ مِّنَ الَّذِينَ هَادُوا حَرَّمْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ طَيِّبَاتٍ أُحِلَّتْ لَهُمْ. Sometimes some halal becomes haram for some nations. Anyway, al-khata'u, mistake. An-nisyan, forgetfulness. وَمَا أُكْرِهُ عَلَيْهِ, when they are forced to do something. Okay? وَمَا لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, when what they don't know. Of course, these have lots of discussions. You know, you cannot say, okay, whenever you forget them, there is no problem. There are many cases in fiqh that when you forget, still there is liability. There are cases in which with ikrah still there is liability. This is general, but there are lots of details and explanation. ما من عام إلا وقد خصه. There is no general rule unless there are exceptions in fiqh, in law. ما لا يعلمون وما لا يطيقون, what they cannot cope with. They don't have power. Yeah.
They don't know it.
ربنا لا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به. Yeah? Cannot do it. You don't have power to do it. مَذْتُرُّ إِلَيْهِ, اضطرار, when there are emergencies and they have no other choice. For example, there is no water. How can you do wuzu? How can you do ghusl? Yeah, there's istirar. Allah would never say, you know, you must make wuzu when there is no water. Yeah? Wala hasad. Jealousy is also a kind of vicious quality. But if you don't act upon it and just control it, you will not be punished. It's a sign of weakness. But at least if you manage to control it and don't do anything out of jealousy, you will not be punished. Because it's very difficult to get rid of jealousy. Therefore, there is a kind of lenience here that if you manage to control, don't, for example, do ghaiba, tuhma, harm people towards whom you have jealousy. Control yourself. Just let it be something in your heart, then you will not be punished. What tiyara? What is tiyara? A kind of pessimism. Tiyara. قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم. Sometimes people they say this day is going to be a very bad day, and then it actually becomes bad. This marriage is not going to work, and then it actually may not work. You should always try to be, of course, objective, but after careful examination and after you make up your mind and do something, trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be positive, be optimist. Don't say, today is Nahs, today is a cursed day. This place is a cursed place. This house that we moved in is a cursed house. This child is a cursed child because when this child came, for example, I lost my father, so this is a cursed child. Then if you look at something like this, there is a great chance that actually it can become like that. In the other way, if you look at something in a positive way, then it can become like that. We say tafa'alu bil khair. It's opposite to tatayyur. So try to be a positive optimist. You have question, Abu Jafar?
لا تعاد الأيام فتعاديكم والحديث.
Yes.
The tayr, has it the root to tayr, which is flying? Flying, tayr is flying.
It comes from the same root, but its meaning is to be pessimist and to think of bad, probabilities, bad, possibilities.
So you flying, fleeting mind.
التفكر في الوسوسة في الخير. And the last thing is, when some ideas come to your mind about creation that make you not sure, not, for example, 100% clear about creation. For example, why Allah created this world like this? Why my child is ill, for example? Why, I don't know, this problem happened? Sometimes you may have questions, a kind of lack of understanding, a little bit of maybe protest sometimes even. Who created God? Why God created, for example, shaitan? Things like this may come to your mind. This is not something you will be punished for. As long as ما لم ينطق بالشفة. As long as you don't express it and spread it, keep it, inquire about it, study about it, read about it. Inshallah, you will find the answer.
Like rebellious thoughts.
Pardon?
Rebellious thoughts.
Rebellious in this sense.
Just thoughts on the level.
Thoughts about aqaid, about creation. Okay, how do we want to argue from this hadith? What is the relevance of this hadith for our discussion? Don't forget, our discussion was about الشبهة التحريمية الحكمية. What is the relevance? ما لا يعلمون. ما لا يعلمون. When they are not aware. So if there is taklif, a hurma, but we don't know, and we don't have access to it, so hadith says that no punishment. تقرير الاستدلال يتوقف على ذكر أمرين. In order to articulate this argument, we need to explain two things. Okay? So we need to make 2 points. First, أن لفظة ما في قوله ما لا يعلمون. ما, when we say ما لا يعلمون, this ma is موصولة. You know ma is موصولة. It's not نافية, it's موصولة. Means like الذي. تعم الحكم والموضوع المجهولان. It includes حكم which is not known and موضوع which is not known. Yeah? Whether you don't know this is wine or not, or whether you don't know the حكم, both is ما لا يعلمون. لوضوح أنه إذا جهل المكلف بحكم التدخين. When mukallaf doesn't know what is the ruling for smoking, أو جهل بكون الماء الفلاني خلا أو خمرا, or doesn't know whether this particular liquid is vinegar or wine, صدق على كل منهما. It would be true for both of them, whether it is first which is hukmi or the second which is mawzu'i, it is true for both of them to say أنه من ما لا يعلمون. This is one of the cases of ما لا يعلمون. فيكون الحديث عاما حجة في الشبهة الحكمية والموضوعية. So this hadith can be a general argument that includes both حكمية and موضوعية. The second point, when we say these things are removed, do we mean removed from existence, from takween? No. Because the Ummah would do these things, would experience these things. So this is not a raf' fi takween, it is raf' fi tashri'. إن الرافع ينقسم إلى تكويني وهو واضح وتشريعي. رفع تكويني is very clear, means you don't make mistake, you don't forget. And تشريعي. What do we mean by رفع تشريعي? We don't mean that in Islamic Sharia we don't have anything about this. We mean that the legislation would not belong to someone who has this problem. Means this person is not responsible when he is, for example, forgetting, when he's making mistake. أريد به نسبة الرفع إلى الشيء بالعناية والمجاز. So with a kind of metaphorical language, we say forgetfulness is removed. It means there is no punishment when you forget. باعتبار رفع آثاره means its effects are not there. For example, we say لا شك لكثير الشك. The one who frequently doubts in Salat, for example, we say لا شك. There is no doubt for the one who frequently doubts. But you say he's doubting. And then you say there is no doubt. What does it mean? It means that yes, he doubts. But his doubt has no effect. He has to ignore his doubt. Is it clear? من المعلوم, it is very obvious أن المرفوع ليس هو نفس الشك. When we say لا شك لكثير الشك, we don't want to say that there is no doubt. We know that this person doubts. We want to say his doubt has no effect. He has to ignore. إنما المرفوع هو آثاره فيبني على الإتيان. He supposes that he has done it properly. لا تجب عليه صلاة الاحتياط. He doesn't need to do صلاة الاحتياط. وهذا صار سببا لنسبة الرفع إلى ذات الشك. And because of this, then we say shak is raf, marfu. Shak is removed. The same is with hadith raf. When we say these 9 things are removed, it doesn't mean that they don't happen, because we know there is khata. بشهادة وجود الخطأ والنسيان وما أطف عليه, all the other 7 things which come after that. بكثرة بين الأمة, they exist a lot among the ummah. Yeah? لكن لما كانت الموضوعات المذكورة مسلوبة الآثار, but because their effects were removed, we can say these things are removed because of the effects, as if they don't exist, as if we have to ignore them. Okay, question. What is the asar? What is the effect which is removed from ma la ya'lamun? Punishment. At least punishment is one of those things. You will not be punished. Okay? يقع الكلام في تعيين ما هو الأثر المسلوب. What is that effect which is denied, which is rejected? And because of that, we can say ما لا يعلمون is removed. All the effects or only punishment. For example, there are other effects like harm and other things. We can say at least the minimum is punishment. If there is any doubt about other effects, at least punishment is known that it must be removed, because this hadith is all to explain a favor, a minnah, a kind of imtina or minnah or favor that Allah has for ummah. If they are going to be punished, then what is removed? نعم إن مقتضى الحديث هو رفع كل أثر مترتب على المجهول إلا الآثار الواردية. Of course, Ayatollah Subhani believes that all the religious athar effects are removed. The only thing which is not removed is al-athar al-waz'iyya, which is takwini. For example, if by mistake you drink sharab, okay, you will not be punished, but you will get drunk. This is waz'i, this is takwini. Okay? So, this type of athar are not removed. Or for example, if you have touched khamr with your body or dress, you are not questioned. But when you know that you have touched it, you have now to wash it. You cannot say it is removed. Okay? So this type of asar are not removed, but punishment being brought into questioning when you don't have clue, when you don't have access, it's removed. Yes.
Shaykhna, even though the punishment is removed, should we still not seek forgiveness for these? For example, if we commit something by error, should we feel guilty?
Yes, we should. Because there are lots of discussions here. Sometimes mistake is something that was not avoidable. Then Allah forgives. But sometimes our mistakes are avoidable. And because of our carelessness, we make mistake. Pardon? Ghafla, or you are not careful. For example, when you have a serious meeting, for example, with your manager, very important meeting, you don't forget it. But when you promise to do something for your wife or child, you may forget. Sometimes because human beings are forgetful, sometimes because we don't give enough seriousness to this matter. Yeah? Or for example, when you come to masjid, you can be late sometimes. But when you have a business meeting, you will never go late. Yeah? So, our mistakes, our forgetfulness can sometimes be avoided. Therefore, it is very important that we always ask for forgiveness and we try to improve. We shouldn't say, Alhamdulillah, 9 things are removed, and then this will make you even, more careless. You try to be more forgetful. It's like a kind of immunity that, I forgot, Yes. So this is for people who are careful, who are muttaqi, pious, but still we are human beings, jaizul khata, we are fallibles. We can forget. Yes.
But Shaykhna, how do we make a balance here? Because on the one hand, we make mistakes, and they are not avoidable. But on the other hand, to just dismiss them as sorry, unavoidable mistakes seems a bit rude in front of
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. So you have to ask for forgiveness. Because there is a great chance that this was something that you could avoid it. The last point about hadith or raf, because we want to finish at least this part. Hadith or raf is mentioned by Rasulullah as a kind of lutf, a kind of favor that Allah has for ummah. Okay? Because he says rufa'a an ummati. It's a kind of favor that Allah has a special favor. So it's something about all Muslims, all ummah, all nation. So would not include personal cases. Like what? For example, imagine if a person destroys property or possession of another person by forgetting. If we say no problem, then the whole ummah will suffer. So this would be against the spirit of hadith, which is for minnah. Okay, do you understand? Mm-hmm. As I said, there are lots of details. So you cannot say, okay, any Muslim who forgets or, for example, makes mistakes and, for example, put someone's house into fire by mistake, then he has no liability, for example. We have to see what has he done. لأن الحكم بعدم الغرامة على خلاف المنة. If we say he has no penalty to pay, then it can be against the spirit of the hadith. Or for example, we said ما أكره عليه. When they are forced to do something, it's not questioned and it has no effect. But sometimes we have cases in fiqh that people actually may be forced to do something by hakim shar. For example, imagine there is shortage of food and a person is hiding food in a big, for example, storage to make the price in the market higher. Yes, ihtikar. We say ihtikar. Okay? He's, pardon?
Holding.
Yes, he is hiding and is not selling. Sometimes here, then Hakim Shar, the qualified judge, forces him to sell. We cannot say this would be one of the cases of ukrehu alayh, and therefore it is not valid. No, this is a particular case, and here ikra can be okay. Or for example, a person owes money to someone. He has borrowed money. Now he has money but doesn't give back. So he's taken to the court and qualified judge, legitimate qualified judge, may force him to give money to that person. He cannot say, I am forced, therefore this money is haram to you. I didn't want to give to you. And for example, you cannot use this money. You understand? So this hadith is for something that would be for the benefit of the ummah. Not something that particular individuals would take advantage and make the life for the ummah or for other people, very difficult. The third hadith is mursalatus saduq. Mursala is the hadith that all the people in the chain are not mentioned. Okay? So he says from Shaykh Saduq, maybe some are known, but finally from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, not everyone known. كل شيء مطلق حتى يرد فيه نهي. Everything is mutlaq. Mutlaq here doesn't mean absolute. Mutlaq means free. Because one meaning of itlaq is free. Means there is no restriction. It's mutlaq, means no restriction unless prohibition comes. So the first assumption is everything is halal. Everything is permissible unless proved otherwise. دل الحديث على أن الأصل في كل شيء هو الإطلاق حتى يرد فيه النهي بعنوانه. The general assumption is that everything is free and permissible unless prohibition comes. For example, we have prohibition al-khamru haramun. Okay, so khamr is no longer halal. Ar-rashwatu haramun. Bribery is haram. Okay, now this is excluded. So till we have proof that something is excluded, they remain permissible. فما لم يرد النهي عن الشيء بعنوانه يكون محكوما بالإطلاق والإرسال. إرسال and إطلاق means free from restriction. For smoking, we don't have, suppose, we don't have any specific prohibition, therefore it remains permissible. Then there is istidlal bil-aql. I think it takes us maybe another 10-15 minutes to finish. So at least we finish Quran and Hadith, and inshallah, remember we should continue from here inshallah in September. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.
Anything that comes a bit